Hi guys and girls, it's Usernamekate and welcome to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving you guys a walk round on something that is pretty sexy and pretty spicy, and I'm very glad to have it in my garage whilst we're having a sunny spell. It is KTM's 1290 SUPERDUKE R. Now this is the third generation, it's a 2023, so if you're interested in the stats, the specifications, the features, all the electronic wizardry that goes on within this bike, and let me tell you, there's a lot. If you're interested in what it's like for me to sit on this bike and push around, then keep watching because I think this video will be right up your street. Right, before we start our walk round, it is really important for me to give a shout out to a company. Now, the company in question is Bikeshare Insurance, and these guys are a specialist insurance broker who actually sponsor my channel and allow me to bring you guys 2 vlogs a week and basically live the dream and produce motor related YouTube videos for you guys. So if you're in the market for insurance, don't hesitate to give these guys a try. The way that you will get the best quote from them is to ring them direct. That is the way to eke out the best price. Now if you quote Usernamekate, you may well get a little bit of discount. I do get that kind of feedback, which is always nice to hear. But they are a de facto 5-star rated insurance broker, and if you do take out a policy with them, you will get £100,000 worth of legal fee cover in your policy, which is always nice for a bit of peace of mind. So yeah, if you're in the market, give those guys and girls a shout. Right, without further ado, let's crack on with the walk round and show you all about this sexy piece of orangeness. Right guys and girls, KTM's 2023 1290 SUPERDUKE R comes in 2 colour options. So you have this, what you see before you, which is orange and silver, and then they do an absolutely stunning blue and orange, which, to be quite honest, I would have absolutely loved to have had that colour because it is just so gorgeous. Now they both come with the orange rims, so you still have that clearly obvious KTM look to it. And they currently retail at £16,999, but I'm pretty sure all the dealerships at the moment have some mega offers on these bikes whereby you get £3,000 off. So the starting price of these currently is £14,000, which is really tempting, and I do not need that kind of temptation in my life. And it comes with an extra 2 years manufacturer's warranty as well, so a total of 4 years warranty. Where do I sign? I'm really tempted. So we're going to start with the engine of this bike. We have the pretty well known LC8 1301cc 75 degree V-twin, and it produces 177 brake horsepower and 140 newton meters of torque, which is absolutely wild. In fact, I think it is the most torquey naked bike that you can pretty much get on the market at the minute. Taking a look at the 1290 SUPERDUKE R's chassis, it is ridiculously compact, and it's actually 3 times more rigid than its predecessor, as well as 2 kilograms lighter. If we take a look at the hardware on this bike and start with the brakes, at the front we have 2 Brembo Stylema monoblock 4-piston radially mounted calipers on the front of 2 320mm discs. Then if we glance over to the rear, we have a Brembo twin piston fixed caliper on a 240mm disc. The bike has Bosch 9.1 MP 2.0 cornering ABS, as well as Supermoto ABS, just so you can back it into corners without that electronic intrusion. Then if we move over to the suspension, at the front we have WP fully adjustable apex forks, which have a spring preload adjustment too. And then if we look at the rear, we have WP apex rear shock absorber, which has separate gas and oil reservoirs. It's also fully adjustable with a manual preload dial as well, which just makes life easier and you don't need any tools. In terms of the ergonomics with this bike, we have lots of adjustability that you probably wouldn't even think of at first glance. With the handlebars, we have 4 adjustable positions to customise the bike to suit your riding style and comfort. And then if we look at the foot pegs, we have adjustable foot pegs to give you essentially rear sets. We have a normal shift pattern as well, but it can be easily switched to a race shift if you do intend to take this beast on track. On the handlebars, you have a C1 and C2 toggle, which basically stands for Custom 1 and Custom 2. You can set the screen and the characteristics of the bike exactly how you want in these custom modes, so they are available at the flick of a switch. I said this bike was brimming with tech, and I was not lying. So let's start off with the 6-axis IMU. We have lean sensitive ABS, we have lean sensitive traction control, but not only that, the bike has cruise control as well as standard, which is nice. The 5-inch TFT colour dash for a start is angle adjustable, so you have a bit of customization there. We have 3 modes as standard: rain, street and sport. Of course, with KTM you can get as complicated as you want with packs, which give you track packs and track modes and performance modes and all that jazz, but I'll touch on that a bit later on if you stick with me. The bike is keyless along with the fuel cap, so as long as the ignition has just been switched off, you can open the fuel cap. We have beautiful LED lighting all round. I feel like the front kind of looks like a praying mantis, but the front of the bike and the headlight is actually quite multifunctional, as we have a nice air intake in the middle of the light. The bike also has a hydraulic slipper clutch, so it is super easy to pull that clutch in. Because this is a KTM press bike, they have thrown everything at it, bar heat grips, but we've got a sunny spell, so I'm not too mad. The packs that are available to you guys, we have a track pack. Now the track pack is quite comprehensive and it involves a lot of stuff. With the track pack you get so much stuff. You get launch control, you get anti-wheelie, you get MTC, you get a track mode which has 9 customizable levels of wheel slip and throttle response. You have engine map selection, and you also have a performance mode. Now the performance mode is like track mode, but is adapted more towards riding on the street. So you still get the 9 levels of wheel slip control customization along with the throttle response customization. You also get your anti-wheelie as well, but what you do get to retain and keep is the cruise control and KTM's My Ride, if you use KTM My Ride, that is, which is the app which you can connect your smartphone to the bike with. Now the track mode costs £361, so you can spec the bike up with that. Or you could do what I would do, which is what this bike has, which in my opinion is a must, and you could upgrade it with the tech pack. Now what do you get in the tech pack? Well, you actually get the track pack in the tech pack along with some other little bits and bats. So with the tech pack you get track pack, you get the quick shifter and auto blipper, which I have to say is a very nice addition to this bike. It makes it, I mean it's already a fun bike, but it makes it a whole heap more fun in my opinion. You also get motor slip regulation and you get the adaptive brake lights as well. So a few other little stats about this bike. The tank size is 16 litres. We have a seat height of 835mm. The seat is real wide, so it does kind of throw your legs akimbo, for want of a better phrase. And it weighs, well, KTM quote a dry weight on their website, which always annoys me because it's not realistic, is it? They quote 189 kilograms dry, so wet I can only assume it's going to be round about 210 kilograms, something like that. I'm no genius, but with fluids and a full tank, that's probably what I'd put it at. Okay, so I'm going to sit on this bike and we're going to see what it is like for seat height. Guys, I am a 5'4" individual with a 29-inch inseam. And this is what it is like for me to sit on the bike. So if I want to have both feet on the floor, I'm like tippy-toeing, and that's quite normal because the seat is so wide. Like literally I can feel my legs just like thrown in opposite directions. But if I want to stop at lights, I literally just commit to a bit of a bum scotch as usual, and I've got one foot down. So yeah, I've just got to kind of commit to the 1 foot down. But yeah, perfectly manageable, because you guys know that I'm not one of these people that gets freaked out if I have to stop and I can't put both feet down. Yeah, you guys know that I don't really need to have 2 feet down to feel confident and large and in charge and in control on these kind of bikes, because if I felt like I had to have 2 feet down on every single bike I rode, then it would make the market quite narrow as to what I could actually realistically ride. So I try not to let it bother me, just have a bit of a boss mentality that I can do it. And guess what? You can do it. So yeah, this is what it's like for me to sit on this bike. Position wise, it's quite sporty. Like the bars are relatively flat, not like S1000R new generation flat. They are really flat, but still flat enough to feel that you have a lot of weight over the front and be kind of in touch and in tune with what that front tyre is doing underneath you. And it just feels really sporty, aggressive, and almost ready to attack. The peg in this position, again, we've got a nice bend in, it's quite sporty, quite aggressive, but you do actually have the option to put these pegs a little bit further back and make it even more racy. So yeah, and the handlebars, as mentioned before, we can alter them. So yeah, it is a bike that you really can make fit to you, if that makes sense. Weight of this bike, well, we're going to push it around and see what it is like to manoeuvre. It actually feels really light. Like not bad to move around at all. Okay guys, so let's look at the dash on this bike. Ready to race. So we have a pop-in orange dash. We have the gear indicator right here. We have the miles an hour nice and big there. The revs along the top. We have what mode you're in there, what mode the ABS is in, and how much fuel you have. And then you also have your warning lights at the top, which automatically come on when you just switch the ignition on and you haven't quite fired her up yet. If we press the right hand button, it will take us to the main menu. Now you can clearly access this whilst you're on the move because you have the gear indicator there and the miles an hour there. But if we press the down button, we can access trips and data, ride mode, motorcycle, settings, and then it rotates back to the top. So if we click trip and data, we can have access to trip 1, trip 2, general information, tyre air pressure, that will only show once the bike's moving, any warnings, when the service is due, and also any extra functions such as slip adjuster, track, anti-wheelie mode, launch control, motor slip regulation, emergency stop indicators or that adaptive brake light, quick shifter plus, which is the shifter and auto blipper. So this basically just tells you what your extra functions are. If we come down, you can see that we have a selection of rider modes. So it's currently in sport, but you can have it in rain, which is a super delicate and, you know, quite a soft throttle. just makes things more comfortable when you're riding in the rain. You've got a lot of traction control with that, just stops things getting a bit scary. Then you've got street mode, which is, as it implies, it's for the street. It's just a, you know, kind of a normal throttle response, but full power, of course. Then we go to sport. You have a super crisp throttle response, and let me tell you, it doesn't take much twisting of the throttle to get this absolutely pulling your arms out of its sockets, but that's sport mode. Then we have that performance mode, which is basically a track mode but with the use of cruise control and my ride. And then we have the full-blown track mode. If we come out of here, we go down, we have motorcycle. So here we can look at the motor slip regulation and the MTC. We can either switch it on or off. ABS mode, we can have that in road mode or supermoto. So if it's in road mode, you've got the full ABS, cornering ABS at that on this bike. But if we put it in supermoto mode, it's going to disengage it off the rear, so you can just slide around like an absolute lunatic. And then if we go down, we have quick shifter plus, which we can switch on or off, which if you have it, I don't see why you put it off, because it is just so much fun. So if we look in settings, we have custom switches, which is C1 and C2 on the right hand side of the switchgear. We have Bluetooth, we can switch it on or off, headset type, display theme. So if we have it in night mode, we can have it so that it's an orange background all the time, which looks pretty cool. Or you can select it as automatic, which is a white background, and then if you go under some trees or through a tunnel, it will switch the ambient lighting and give you a orange background. But I'm going to keep it in night because it looks pretty badass. If we go back, we have button illumination. So the switch gear is backlit and you can select how bright you want it, or even if you want it off completely. Shift light, you can customize that. Daytime running lights, you can select whether you have them on or off. Clock and date, units, so that's whether you want it in miles or kilometers, you want it in Celsius or Fahrenheit, PSI or bar, etc. Language, I'm not going to even delve into that. Knowing me, I'll put it in Chinese and never get it back. But yeah, there is so much customization at the touch of the buttons on the switchgear. Right guys and girls, we're just going to do a sound check on the Mighty Beast, so we'll fire her up. Now this has a standard KTM exhaust, no Austin Racing or Akrapovic here. So we'll just let her warm up a little bit first, but this is what it sounds like just on idle. Oh, it sounds so good, and you know what, it sounds even better when it's under load and you're absolutely giving it the berries and it just sings, and then you can just go bah, bah, and blip the throttle and it just barks, and oh yeah, it's one of them bikes where you just feel great riding it because it sounds so ruckus and naughty. Right everybody, that concludes my vlog on KTM's 2023 1290 SUPERDUKE R. What an absolute weapon this bike is. What do you guys think of it? Do you like it, or do you think it is just far too much for the road and a bit pointless? Let me know what you think, because I for one absolutely freaking adore this bike and genuinely want to own one. So if you've enjoyed this, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps my channel. And until the next time guys, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you then. Bye. With this bike, we have a ridiculously compact chassis. It is in fact 3 times more rigid than its predecessor and also 2 kilograms lighter. Alright.
Not disturbing, am I?
No, I will film in public, so it's not your fault. adaptive brake lights, which are quite funny because I've seen them work quite a lot on this bike when Mike's in front of me. Naughty, naughty. It's so awkward when you have an audience. No, I admire you guys, I ain't got the stamina. I eat too many pies. It's keyless, so let me just get the key out of my pocket.
Hello.
Hello, you alright? I'm just doing a YouTube video.
You take some?
I'm just doing a YouTube video.
Oh, you're doing a video?
Yeah, so I do YouTube, you see. So I borrow all these fancy bikes and then I do reviews on them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very lucky.
And what bike is that one?
So this is a SUPERDUKE. A SUPERDUKE.
SUPERDUKE.
SUPERDUKE, as in
Ducati?
No, so it's KTM.
Okay.
But the model is a SUPERDUKE.
Okay, yeah.
And it's 1290, 177 brake horsepower, absolute beast. It's a missile.
Oh well, have you done? Or are you just doing?
I'm just about to do a sound check. So I'm about to rev it up and make some ruckus noise. Yeah.
Could I leave your thought then while you're quiet at the moment?
Yeah, of course.
What would you think of this then?
What is it?
For a future for you.
What is it?
What would you think of that?
Happy unending life with family and friends. I'd love it.
No sickness or suffering. Having your own land.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Your own home. No one troubling you. And death being removed out of you.
But how can it? Because death is inevitable.
It is at the moment, but we're living in a time when Jehovah God's going to make a great change on earth.
Right.
And these are his promises. And he's about to bring them about.
Oh, okay.
Could I leave that with you to read?
Of course.
That's nice.
Bit of bedtime reading.
Bedtime.
Thank you. See?
I'm taking over here, so you carry. I'll look over.
Awesome.
Thanks for chatting.
No worries. Have a great day. Bye, dude.